What if the person you love the most is slowly erasing you? Not with shouting, not with cheating, but with silence, with absence, with 1,000 tiny "I don't sees" that chip away at your soul until you forget your own voice. You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're being emotionally neglected, and it's one of the most invisible, insidious forms of relationship abuse. Today, we're exposing the 7 silent signs you're being emotionally abandoned, even while living under the same roof. And by sign number 5, you might feel like someone's been reading your diary. Emotional neglect isn't T about what your partner does, it's S about what they done to do. They don't ask how your day was. They don't notice when you're hurting. They don't show up when you're drowning in silence. And the cruelest part? You start doubting yourself. Am I asking for too much? Maybe I'm just lonely. But here's the truth. Love isn't just presence. It's attunement. It's the quiet, consistent act of seeing someone, hearing them, and making space for their inner world. Psychologists call this emotional co-regulation, the invisible thread that keeps 2 people connected even in stillness. When that thread snaps, you don't feel angry. You feel hollow, like you're talking to a mirror. And the scariest thing, emotional neglect often hides behind good behavior. No yelling, no drama, just a partner who's physically there but emotionally checked out. You might even be praised for your strong, independent nature, while inside you're starving for connection. This isn't just sadness. It's a slow erosion of self-worth. And if left unchecked, it rewires your brain to believe you don't deserve to be seen. So let's pull back the curtain, because once you recognize these signs, you'll never unsee them. Sign number 1. Your emotions are met with silence or deflection. You share something vulnerable. Maybe you're overwhelmed at work, and they change the subject, scroll on their phone, or say, "You'll be fine," not maliciously, just dismissively. Over time, you stop sharing, not because you healed, but because you learned your feelings are a burden. Sign number 2. You're always the one initiating emotional connection. Texts, calls, deep talks, it's always you reaching out. They respond, sure, but never seek you. Neuroscience shows that when one person consistently initiates emotional bids and gets ignored, the brain starts suppressing those urges. You literally stop asking to be loved. Sign number 3. You feel lonelier with them than without them. That's the hallmark of emotional neglect. Their presence doesn't soothe you. It highlights your absence in their world. You sit side by side, but it feels like you're shouting into a void. Sign number 4. Your needs are treated as dramatic or needy. Want reassurance? You're insecure. Need space to vent? Stop overreacting. Emotional neglect often disguises itself as tough love or realism, but healthy love doesn't shame you for wanting to be held. Sign number 5. You've started hiding parts of yourself to keep the peace. You mute your joy so they don't feel pressured to celebrate. You swallow your sadness so they don't have to comfort you. This isn't compromise, it's self-erasure, and it's exhausting. Sign number 6. You feel guilty for wanting more. They're not abusive, they pay the bills, they're faithful. So why do you feel so empty? Because emotional neglect thrives in the gray zone, where nothing is wrong enough to justify leaving, but everything feels off. Sign number 7. You've stopped expecting to be understood. This is the quiet tragedy. You no longer hope they'll get you. You've accepted being a roommate in your own relationship. And that resignation? That's your psyche protecting itself from further disappointment. Here's the darkest truth. Emotional neglect isn't always intentional. Sometimes your partner is repeating patterns from their own childhood, raised by emotionally absent parents. They never learned how to show up. But here is the gut punch. Their trauma doesn't obligate you to stay in the void. And even more unsettling, your brain starts to prefer the neglect. Why? Because after months or years of unmet needs, your nervous system adapts. You become hypervigilant to crumbs of attention, mistaking silence for safety. This is called trauma bonding, not through intensity, but through absence. You stay not because you're loved, but because you've been trained to survive on less. And the cruelest illusion? Believing that if you just become easier, quieter, or more self-sufficient, they'll finally see you. But emotional neglect isn't about your worth. It's about their capacity. and no amount of shrinking will fill a space they refuse to enter. So what now? First, name it. Say out loud, "I'm experiencing emotional neglect." That simple act breaks the spell of self-blame. Second, observe without judgment. Track moments when you feel unseen, not to accuse, but to reclaim your reality. Third, practice emotional self-parenting. Give yourself the validation you're not getting. It's okay to need this. It's okay to feel hurt. And if you choose to stay, set a boundary, not as a threat, but as an invitation. When I share something hard, I need you to look at me and say, "That sounds tough." Just that. But if they can't or won't show up, then ask yourself, how much of myself am I willing to lose to keep this peace? Because you were never meant to beg for the bare minimum of love. You deserve someone who doesn't just tolerate your emotions, but leans into them. Someone who notices when your voice cracks, even when you're smiling. Emotional neglect steals your sense of self. But awareness, that's your reclaiming. So if this resonated, if you saw yourself in even one of these signs, don't scroll away. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, am I being loved or just tolerated? Drop a like in the comments if you've been here. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because silence is the accomplice of neglect. And remember, wanting to be seen isn't neediness, it's humanity.